Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of Kabir Considers. In this video, I'm going to react to 22 times Mike Tyson delivered a vicious first round KO. Now, Mike Tyson, there's just, for me, he is probably one of my favorite boxers ever because mainly his style of boxing. I love the heavy hitters, the guys that are just trying to knock the other guy out. I appreciate, the point fighters, the guys who can just, hit and not get hit, the sweet science, I think they call it. But for me, there's just nothing better than watching just like a juggernaut. Some guy that if he lands one in the right place, it is night, nap time, see you tomorrow. It is just, and Mike Tyson was one of those guys. I truly feel like if Cus hadn't died so early in Tyson's career, I feel like Tyson would have gone down as one of, I still think he kind of does go down as one of the best ever, but his record, a lot of the losses that he had wouldn't have happened, I think. The one against Holyfield, the one against Buster Douglas, I feel like if he had Cus, he wouldn't have lost those fights. But yeah, this video should be really, really fun, just seeing him at his best. I think personally, 1986, 1987 Mike Tyson, very few people ever beat that man. Very, very few. You could probably count them on one hand, in human history maybe even. The guy was just, the way he would bob and weave and just close the distance and then bang, just absolutely crazy. It's going to be a lot of fun. And by the way, guys, if you enjoy my videos, please check out the Patreon. There's a lot of exclusive content on there and a lot of the full length movie reactions that I obviously can't put on YouTube. So definitely check out the Patreon. This should be a lot of fun. Let's do it. Let's go.
The most dangerous man to ever enter the ring, Mike Tyson is arguably the most well-known boxer alive.
Kennedy is a boxer but gets knocked down with a first left hook he takes.
He was the perfect combination of strength, explosive power, speed and viciousness in the ring.
That uppercut. The thing is, he was so compact for a heavyweight, only sort of 5'9", 5'10", but a lot of muscle packed onto that. I think he was like 220 at his peak. It's just so explosive.
When he was on his way up the ladder, Tyson registered a series of devastating knockouts that made him one of the most dominant fighters of his time.
That's the biggest problem. Oh! Right hand! Down goes Larry Holmes!
At just 20 years old, Iron Mike became the youngest boxer to win the heavyweight title and went on to win a total of 50 fights in his career, 44 of which were straight knockouts.
My mission is to go and destroy and not to let anything get involved.
And the funniest thing is his voice is so sort of completely different to his appearance and fighting abilities. It's almost like it further kind of enhances the fear factor.
Boxing Extra take a look at Mike Tyson 22 first round knockouts.
Good grief. Let's go.
Tyson reached his peak during the 80s, dominated the second half of the decade like few boxers before him. His pro debut came on March 6, 1985, when he knocked out Hector Mercedes in the first round.
Michael Johnston out of Florida with 12 wins and 5 losses, 8 by knockouts, is going to fight a very tough young man.
Tyson's strength, quick fists and his notable defensive abilities intimidated his opponents.
23-pound weight advantage, and he put it all there.
Tyson's ninth fight was against Donnie Long and was expected to be the first legitimate competition Tyson had faced.
Yeah, wow, 216, 5'10", and that is solid muscle. Solid muscle.
As a professional.
I'm in good shape, I feel sharp, and I feel like I can outbox Tyson.
19 years of age, Long is 27. Oh, wow. Well,
Tyson floored Long 3 times in 88 seconds.
My shots are so accurate and so precise, but when they land, they're so precise, I can't help it who you are, you have to go down.
In his first year as a pro, Mike Tyson had knocked out all 50.
Mate, all of them in round 1. Oh my god.
Of his opponents, 11 in the first round.
Crazy.
Heading into 1986 with a heavy heart, Tyson was a bright prospect in the heavy division and was looking to build on his success in the previous year.
The marvelous problem is that it's very difficult with a kid who throws hydrogen bombs to get him experience. Nobody can take his punches. So
that's the thing. That's a good point, because you know, you want your fighter to get a lot of ring time, experience, but if he's knocking everybody out in round one, he's not going to get that experience in the ring.
Until we can get someone who can go 5, 6, 7 rounds, it's going to continue to be a problem.
You can hear the impact.
Tyson fought once a month, sometimes more, and won almost always by knockout.
Uppercut to the body by Tyson again.
Once a month.
With Tyson now ranked at number 2 on the WBC heavyweight rankings, his next opponent became Maurice Fraser, son of former heavyweight champion Joe Fraser.
Uppercut and Marvis is hurt.
Oh my God.
Tyson landed several blows before Fraser fell to the canvas, slumped against the ropes.
Boom.
The fight would last only 30 seconds, becoming the quickest victory of Tyson's professional career.
30
And I was
seconds.
confident. I came out, I knew the fight. I felt the deep in my heart. I was going to stop him in the first round. Look, and now look, boom, come on, boom, again. I'm going to hit him one more time. I like to hit him.
Mate, Joe Fraser must have just been heartbroken, like seeing his son go down like that. 30 seconds, but you know, respect to anybody who steps in that ring, mate. Like, you know, I did a little bit of boxing in school, but I never had any sort of like proper fights. Did a bit of sparring, but you know, for anyone to step foot in a ring, it takes a lot of courage.
On November 22nd, 1986, Tyson was given his first title fight against Trevor Berbick for the WBC Heavyweight Championship.
It's over. That's all. And we have a new era in boxing.
Tyson knocked out Berbick in the second round, and at the age of 20 years and 4 months, became the youngest heavyweight champion in history.
What are your ambitions from here on out?
To unify the title.
In March of '86, Tyson earning the WBA title over Bone Crusher Smith, and then beat Tony Tucker for the IBF belt.
And undisputed heavyweight champion of the world.
In 1988, boxing fans were spoiled with a fight built once and for all between champions Mike Tyson and Michael Spinks.
Now we'll see who's the champion and who's the chump.
Spinks had defeated the old king Larry Holmes twice, and then he was stripped of the crown by the IBF for refusing to fight their mandatory challenger Tony Tucker.
June 27th will be a very sad day for anybody. It's a must that someone's must go, mine or his.
Both men were undefeated and each had a claim to being the legitimate heavyweight champion. It was at the time the richest fight in boxing history, grossing some $70 million.
So considerable height advantage, and probably the reach as well. This is the thing, because Tyson, because he was a smaller heavyweight, much smaller, his arms were much shorter, so he had to close the distance. Like, he didn't have the luxury of being able to just jab someone to death, you know. Like, he had to get in there, which is really risky because you're closer to the opponent, they can hit you more, way easier.
Of which Tyson earned 20 and Spinks 13.5 million. The fight ended after 91 seconds when Tyson knocked Spinks out in the first round.
And he's down again and in serious trouble. He's not going to make it. It's all over.
When I came in the ring and I looked at him, I was seeing his face and I saw the fear and I knew it was going to be a first round knockout.
During this period, Tyson's problems outside the ring were also starting to emerge. In late 1988, Tyson parted with manager Bill Caton and fired longtime trainer Kevin Rooney.
The day Tyson fired Kevin Rooney, there was a cap put on Mike Tyson's development as a fighter. He did not develop any more beyond that date.
Yeah, and signing with this guy, what's his name again? What's his name? Oh man. But yeah, apparently he was a parasite. What is this man's name?
In 1989, Tyson had only 2 fights amid personal turmoil. He faced the British boxer Frank Bruno in February.
Richard Steele has moved in and has stopped the fight.
Tyson's sixth defense as undisputed king was against a talented boxer named Carl Williams.
Well, he fought me when I was 14, 15 years old, and he couldn't kill me then, and now I'm 5 times, 10 times the fighter now.
Prior to his fight with Tyson, Williams had won his previous 5 fights, including a victory over
big size advantage. Big. Same weight though.
Former champion Trevor Berbick, which got him back into contention.
Just swinging, man.
Tyson's big moment tonight came down to a single perfectly timed left hook. Though Williams was able to get back on his feet and was seemingly ready to continue the fight, referee Randy Newman controversially stopped the fight and awarded Tyson the victory by technical knockout.
He does look dazed, but I mean, if he's up and he's, he puts his fists up, you have to let him continue, like especially if it's before the 8 count.
Officially, it was the 5th fastest knockout in the history of the heavyweight championship. In a fight on February 11th, 1990, Tyson lost the undisputed championship to Douglas in Tokyo.
Getting the shot that will finish things in. Oh, what an uppercut by Douglas. Down goes Tyson.
Yeah, this is Buster Douglas right
Hey Mike, what happened in Tokyo?
Well, it's a bad situation at the time, but I'll be okay. Buster Douglas fought a great fight, and I'll be champion again within 6 months.
After the loss, Tyson recovered with the first round knockouts in his next 2 fights.
Now the Olympic heavyweight gold medalist prepares to enter the ring.
His first opponent was 1984 Olympic gold medalist Henry Tillman, who had twice defeated Tyson as
It's like every fighter virtually Tyson fought was much bigger, like
an amateur.
Right to the face of Tillman.
Tyson easily defeated Tillman, knocking him out at 247 in the first round.
He just like wants to knock you out, like.
Tyson's next fight in his comeback was against Alex Stewart, an up-and-coming prospect with all 26 of his wins as a professional coming by way of knockout.
And this is what I've dreamt about, being in a major fight where the opponent is just as good.
Tyson looked awesome in crushing an apparently terrified Stewart, knocking his rival down inside the bout's opening 10 seconds.
To be fair, like, who wouldn't be scared? Like, you being opposite Mike Tyson, you know you're gonna have to fight this guy. He genuinely, even though he was shorter, he was very intimidating looking. Like, just this, obviously the build, but also the scowl. Like, he was just like, yeah.
Tyson lands a right and another.
Tyson had Stewart down 3 times and it was all over after 2 minutes and 27 seconds of the very first round.
Something or else it's just a question of a few seconds.
That'll do it. They're forgetting that the 3 knockdown rule is in effect. This fight is over.
Tyson was arrested in July 1991 for the rape of 18-year-old Desiree Washington and sentenced to 6 years in prison along with 4 years of probation.
I'm innocent. How you doing, Charles?
After being paroled from prison in 1995, Tyson easily won his comeback bouts against Peter McNeely and Buster Mattis Jr.
Swing around on your opponent's side.
How long did he spend in prison? Was it like 2 years? More, less?
Oh, he got a right uppercut! Another right uppercut! And down goes Mathis!
Tyson regained 1 belt by winning the WBC title against Frank Bruno in March 1996.
Tyson is champion again!
Having WBC belt in his possession, he wanted to unify again, and that is why he decided to fight against the WBA champion Bruce Seldon.
Have you seen someone with a jab like Seldon's?
Have you ever seen me fight before?
Known as
good comeback.
The Atlantic City Express, Seldon surprisingly stopped Tony Tucker to win the vacant WBA title.
Good size, 6'2", 230 pretty much.
In April 1995.
I'm not afraid of you. I'm taller than you, I'm faster than you, and I have a good left jab and I have great athleticism.
Tyson easily defeated Seldon by first round knockout in one of the shortest heavyweight championship fights in boxing history, lasting just 149.
You can't buy one or learn one. You get it. He's wobbly. You can always And that's it. It's over in the first round.
Tyson faced Evander Holyfield on November 9, 1996 and lost by
I remember this. My dad watched this on pay-per-view.
KO in 11 rounds.
I can't believe what I'm seeing.
Throughout his tenuous career, Tyson was a knockout machine.
Mike's only got one speed. It's fast forward. Within seconds, down goes Savary.
His sheer aggression and tenacity proved too strong for most other fighters. Despite all his inconsistencies outside the ring, Tyson is still one of the greatest and most influential fighters of all time.
Beast. That man, just one of a kind, honestly, one of a kind. The combination of the build and the style of fighting, the aggression, it's just, you just don't see it anymore. You do not see it anymore. Fighters don't fight like that anymore. Like, I'm trying to think, who is the closest thing we've got to Mike Tyson at the minute? Maybe Deontay Wilder, actually. Maybe Deontay, but obviously Deontay's a much bigger guy, you know, and even though his style is similar in terms of he's looking for the knockout, the style of getting inside that Tyson had, I think they call it the peekaboo style. Deontay doesn't really do that. Deontay kind of throws like long haymakers from a distance because he's got, you know, a very long reach. Tyson would just close the distance. Just absolutely insane. One of my favorite fighters ever, I have to say, Mike Tyson. And especially now you see him, he's mellowed out a lot. But, you know, when you see him train in the videos that he releases, he's still got it. Like, it's crazy. The guy's in his mid-50s. And the way he just gets so close to the, you know, whoever's holding the pads, it's just insane for a man of that age. Just, yeah, for me, one of the legends of boxing for sure. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.